New details on Novak Djokovic's ATP ranking after Monte Carlo early exit. Novak Djokovic didn't exactly shine in his first tournament on red clay, the Monte Carlo Masters 1000, a tournament that gave him very little satisfaction in the second part of his legendary career. The Serbian ace knew that he was unlikely to play his best tennis in the Principality this week, even more so after reaching the final in Miami on a completely different surface, but he also did not expect such a poor performance against Alejandro Tabilo. The former world number one had delivered a very similar performance against the Chilean at the Rome Masters 1000 in 2024, testifying to his difficulties in adapting to a particularly slow surface that does not enhance his game. The 24-time Grand Slam champion will try to get a better result at the Mutua Madrid Open, which is played in totally different conditions than the Monte Carlo tournament. In addition, the 37-year-old from Belgrade will once again be able to count on the presence of Andy Murray, who was not present this week due to his family commitments. Noel, who had arrived in Monte Carlo as world number 5, was unable to defend the 400 points he earned last year when he reached the semi-finals, losing to Casper Ruud. Djokovic is set to lose 390 points in the ATP ranking that will be released next Monday, but he can console himself because most of his rivals did not shine in the third Masters 1000 of the season. Despite his premature elimination in the Principality, Novak still has a very good chance of remaining in 5th place in the ATP ranking at the end of the tournament. Jack Draper had the chance to overtake the Serbian legend, but his run ended against Alejandro Davidovic Fokina in the round of 16. Ruud, last year's finalist, will lose several positions in the ATP ranking after being beaten by Alexei Popyrin yesterday. Andrei Rublev also disappointed expectations this week, despite the start of his collaboration with Marat Safin. The Russian was literally dominated by Arthur Fils, who left him just 5 games. The only player who could still surpass Djokovic is Alex de Minaur, but the Australian ace must necessarily lift the trophy. Andrei Rublev is trying to get out of the crisis, and the news of his new collaboration with Marat Safin has generated enormous interest, especially because of the eccentric personality of the former world number one. The Russian ace has known his illustrious compatriot for a long time and had asked him for some advice in the past, but had never had the courage to propose him to join his team as a coach alongside Fernando Vicente. After experiencing a particularly hard period last year, which resulted in a real depression, the former world number 5 realized that it was the right time to make use of the collaboration of a man who knows the dynamics of this sport very well. Their first tournament together was the Monte Carlo Masters 1000, where Andrei had triumphed 2 years ago by defeating Holger Rune in the final. In the 2025 edition, the player from Moscow put in a very brilliant performance on his debut against French veteran Gaël Monfils, prevailing in straight sets. However, his run in the Principality ended against Arthur Fils in the next round. The young French, who is going through a really brilliant moment, literally dominated the match against the Russian, conceding him only 5 games. It will take time to understand if the partnership between Andrei and Marat will produce positive results, and, at least for the moment, the precise duration of their collaboration has not been established, which should go on at least until Roland Garros. Rublev will play mixed doubles in New York. Meanwhile, the Russian has made a very important decision by announcing his intention to participate in mixed doubles at the 2025 US Open. As everyone knows, the organizers of the last major of the season chose to place the mixed doubles in the week before the start of the singles tournament, a decision that generated a lot of controversy. Rublev also revealed that his partner will be Czech star Karolina Muchova, with whom he will form a very fearsome pair for all opponents. For both, it will be an excellent preparation for the singles tournament. Carlos Alcaraz is through to his first Monte Carlo Masters semi-final. The Spaniard battled past the 20-year-old Arthur Fils 4-6, 7-5, 6-3 in 2 hours and 23 minutes to remain on the title course. It was their first match, and we saw a thrilling battle. 2 young guns showed their athleticism, firepower, and incredible touch. Arthur missed a massive chance to emerge at the top. The Frenchman claimed the opener and generated 3 break chances at 5-5 in the second set. The 4-time major winner denied them and grabbed a late break to force a decider. Fils made another push and led 3-1 before Alcaraz stepped in and rattled off 5 games to seal the deal and advance into the last 4. Carlos claimed 10 points more than his rival. The Spaniard faced 11 breakpoints and experienced 4 breaks, only 1 after the opener. Phil struggled behind the second serve and played against 14 break points. He did a fine job in defending 9. However, Alcaraz clinched 5 return games and moved over the top, delivering back-to-back ones in the decider to make the difference. They sprayed almost 100 unforced errors. Carlos finished the duel with 18 winners and 41 unforced errors. Carlos Alcaraz, Monte Carlo 2025 copyright symbol stream screenshot. Phil stood on a 23-54 ratio, spraying too many mistakes from both wings and finishing on the losing side. Carlos forged a 27-25 advantage in service winners, and Arthur erased it in the points at the net. However, the Spaniard built a 68-59 lead from the baseline and earned the win in that segment. Arthur earned a double break at the beginning of the duel for a 3-0 advantage. Alcaraz pulled one break back in Game 4 and missed more chances at 2-3. Arthur Fils and Carlos Alcaraz, Monte Carlo 2025 copyright symbol stream screenshot. The Spaniard pulled the break back at love in Game 8. He returned to the positive side before suffering another break in Game 9. Phil served for the set at 5-4 and defending 2 breakpoints to wrap up the first part of the duel. The Frenchman served well in the second set and kept the pressure on the other side. Alcaraz saved for breakpoints in Games 1 and 5, staying alive and prolonging the battle. However, everything could have been over at 5-5. Arthur generated 3 breakpoints that could have sent him closer to the finish line. Carlos kept his composure and denied them, holding and gaining a boost. The Spaniard delivered a break in Game 12, stealing the set and forcing a decider. Phil secured a break in the third game for 2-1 and defended 2 breakpoints in the next one for a massive 3-1 lead. Still, Alcaraz stayed composed and launched his comeback. He provided 3 fine holds and clinched breaks in Games 6 and 8 to turn the tables and emerge at the top. Red clay is certainly not the best surface for Alex de Minaur's game, who took a long time to learn the secrets of these courts. Most fans and insiders were convinced that the Australian ace would never achieve prestigious results away from the hard courts, having very flat shots from the baseline and not being equipped with enough punch to be dangerous on this surface. As he has always done throughout his career, Alex has worked very hard together with his team to disprove the skeptics, and it is safe to say that he has succeeded again this time. The 26-year-old Australian reached the quarterfinals at the Monte Carlo Masters 1000 after giving a stern lesson to former world number 1 Daniil Medvedev yesterday. The Russian champion has always hated red clay and, unlike de Minaur, has not found the right keys to be effective on this surface, although he won the Rome Masters 1000 2 years ago. Interviewed by eTennis Channel after his round of 16 match in the Principality, Alex explained what changes he has made to his game to make it more impactful on these courts. I have really found my feet the last couple of years, and I have really started to understand what makes me effective on a clay court. The first couple of years of my career on the clay I was not very effective. I wasn't really comfortable on this surface. He also added, I am looking to open up the court with angles and depth a lot more. That is something that on a hard court, my natural ground stroke is already effective as it is, quite flat. But on clay it is a lot less effective and I need to find different ways to hurt my opponent, and that is with a lot of variety, speed, height, angles, and depth, and still being aggressive whenever I can. The Australian player will face Bulgarian veteran Grigor Dimitrov for a place in the semifinals.